I want to start this off with a question for you. How good of a queen, how good of a mother are you to yourself? We know that queen and mother are both archetypes that speak to being in charge, being benevolent, taking care of others, being attuned. And there's a beautiful feminine energy that goes along with all of that. We all have a moon. We all have the sign of Cancer and the fourth house in our chart. And this is where we find the archetype of queen and mother. And I'm going to talk about that today. This is Astrology for Awakening. And I am Natha Perkins of Electra Astrology. This is a series where I am going through all of the facets of all of the sun signs. We're currently on Cancer. We're likening these archetypes to you, to your own inner workings, your own personal psychology, and we're using them as a bridge to spiritually awaken, really. The deeper understanding of the self is so important. And Cancer, fourth house, and the moon are where we really deepen in. It's the most private aspect of who we are. We spend our whole lives exploring who we are when it comes to how we feel. And there's so much that's hidden and unknown to each of us. So this is an invitation to deepen into your hidden world, understand parts of yourself that don't show up very often, or that are murky or even covered up by your conditioning or what you were taught about emotions, whether you were allowed to be emotional. The moon is connected to the mother, and we learn a lot about how to work with and deal with and endure our emotions by what we saw our mother doing, not only with her emotions, but how she interacted with ours. So if you had a mother who was easily stressed out, or it was more about her emotions than yours, or maybe she didn't really express emotions and she was more logical, or she was scattered and had no control of her emotions, those things impact you and how you come to terms with working with your more sensitive hidden side. And then same is true for how she was when you were having strong emotions as a child. So there's usually a conditioning that has to be unraveled. In this episode, we're going to talk about how to look at your inner world as this kingdom that you're managing, you're ruling over, that you are learning how to be the very best, strongest, most grounded foundation for yourself when there is emotional upheaval. Also, learning how to remother yourself, how to take care of yourself and attune to what you need. We don't have to listen to every single emotion. Emotions are not facts, but emotions give us great insight into what's really going on. And this next episode is going to teach you how to get a little bit closer to what's really going on in your own system. So if you like my style and you want to work with me privately, you can find me at electraastrology.com. And I say we jump into the teaching. Cancer is the boss. One of the ways that Cancer comes in and uses the powers are by listening, watching, but also feeling, understanding what energy feels like, and understanding how to interpret that energy. So this is all happening on an internal level. This is not necessarily a conversation that we're having with somebody about it. This is us just tuning into the energetic feeling of the room and the energetic feeling of the person that we're dealing with. Because when we understand that, we get extra information and then we know how to handle it. So instead of being unconscious, and that unconsciousness is really easy to slip into. We talked a lot about this in Gemini season, where when you are unconscious and you're on autopilot, your brain just brings you all manners of stuff and you're just following along. You're just believing it and you're getting freaked out about it, etc. So an unconscious mind is an uncontrolled mind, and we don't want uncontrolled minds. And the same thing is true for uncontrolled emotions. This is what we practice when I say, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and come into your physical body. So just do that for a minute. Coming into your physical body, coming into the very present moment. This is where you bring your consciousness on board. Because when you are in the present moment, when you are watching your breath, and when you are paying attention to your physical responses to what's going on, this is how you attune. This is the gateway into understanding the energetic influences in any given situation. part of being a good queen, a dependable queen, a loving and safe mother, is in learning to hold space. It's in learning to hold your center. So when you are in a situation where there's emotional volatility, where you're dealing with somebody that's angry or somebody that's sad, or you're freaking out about something that's just happened to you, we are on autopilot responding. And that's when you get mad. It's when you react. It's when you hang up on somebody. That is also where you slip into, I need to fix your problem. Let me help you. Or, oh my God, I'm taking your mood personally. This must be my fault. Or getting angry that somebody else is freaking out and saying, you're impacting me and now I'm stressed out. And then it's just chaotic. So what we're learning to do with this Cancerian energy that we all have is we're learning to be the calm in the center of the storm. And that is what a good queen and a capable mother creates. The calm in the center of the storm, so that when everybody else is chaotic and freaking out around us, we're holding the space. We're okay. We're not getting invested and enmeshed with everything that's happening to that person or in that room. We are awake and aware. And simply being awake and aware is not only soothing and calming for our own nervous system so that we're not getting swept away, it can also help calm and soothe the nervous systems of the people around us, even if those people don't realize that's what's happening. So there's something very powerful about using this Cancerian leadership energy. So you can practice this the next time that you are out and about. When there's something going down, even if it's just in your family, if it's even in your own mind, when there's something going down that is emotionally triggering and stressful, this is where you switch into holding your space, holding your center, taking deep breaths, and just breathing into whatever is here in the given moment, and practice that and watch how you actually shift the energy of those around you. This is another reason to work to keep yourself as clean and clear as possible. So we do things like saltwater baths, and we get our exercise, and we drink our water, and we stay away from the things that are going to bring us energetically down. Anything that we use to numb ourselves from having to feel the pain is also going to bring us out of our ability to create that center. It's going to make unconsciousness that much easier. And unconsciousness, it's what most of the world is doing. And we look around and we say, there's so many problems. Somebody out there needs to fix the problems. And the truth is that why are we asking unconscious people? Why are we putting our faith and our power in the hands of unconscious people to solve the problems? And we say that on a very small level too. Why are we wanting unconscious people to react differently to us, to not honk at us in traffic, to not say something that's irritating to us, right? So when we put our power into everybody else's hands, then we are no longer the leader. And so with this Cancerian archetype, it's really important that you maintain your leadership. And we talked about this with the Cancer Capricorn axis. Capricorn is the advisor, but it is also the problem solver. It's the fatherly energy. Cancer is the motherly energy, and we want really capable parents in charge. But what we all have learned through going through our own lives is that we look around and we realize, oh, I'm supposed to be the parent here. I'm no longer willing to assign authority to outside quote unquote parents. If I'm going to be the parent, if I'm going to be the queen, if I'm going to be the advisor, if I'm going to be the mother or the father here, I want to do things my way, and I want to do them in integrity. I don't want to lose my state of consciousness. And I want to be operating from my center as often as possible, because operating from our centers means that we are making attuning choices and decisions. We are not going off of our reactions. And how many of you have had reactivity where you said something really horrible, or you got in a fight with somebody and you ended up after the fact just feeling awful? You have to climb then into your Cancerian shell, and you're angry and you're resentful and you have to lash out. Like, we don't have time for that anymore. we are doing World 2.0 at this point. And if you're listening to this podcast, you're on board for World 2.0, which means you got to take responsibility for your emotions and for your emotional reactivity. And the easiest, most simple way to do that, but also so hard because we don't remember, is to hold your center. Practice taking a deep breath, coming into your physical body and watching. What do you notice? What is going on? Now, Cancer is a water sign, so it's connected to Scorpio and Pisces. And with all three of this trinity of water signs, we're all doing something different when it comes to emotions. With Scorpio, we're trying to understand the underlying factors. We're trying to identify why is this person so strange? Oh, they're really angry. Oh, they're having a shame response. Okay, having the awareness makes all the difference, because then I can work from that knowledge instead of just going into straight defensive mode, defending against this person. And then we go over to Pisces, and Pisces is where we have to connect in with our higher power. We realize none of this is in our control, but there is some force that is greater than us that is always optimizing, making things better. We don't understand why, and we don't understand the timeline, but we have this support. We can, in many cases, let our need for control go with the understanding that this divine support system is working in our benefit. And then we come down to Cancer and we say, I have to understand my own emotional reactivity. I have to understand my own emotional response here, and I have to take responsibility for it. And so this is fun to play around with because it's really like having your own magic wand. Play around with this. The next time that you are in public and you see somebody having a meltdown, practice taking a deep breath, a few deep breaths into your belly, coming into the present moment, sensing into the energy around you, holding space. That's all you're doing. You're one person in a sea of other people that's actually present and conscious and holding space. And watch if you can see that situation start to diffuse. It really does work. And you can practice this in your family and in your relationships. It's not that you're solving the problem, because that's not what we're doing with Cancer. We're not always obligated to solve everybody's problems so that we don't have to feel stressed out. This is us just shifting the energy by being calm. So I use this example. Have you ever been on an airplane and there's tons of turbulence and you are stressing out and you're looking around and you watch the passengers and they're also stressing out and everyone's taking deep breaths and their hands are on their hearts and whatnot, and you start to go to the dark side. Oh my God, we're all going down. But then you look at the flight attendant and she's just happy as can be. She's just handing out her drinks, or she's just clicking into her seatbelt. She's fine. She doesn't seem concerned at all. And what does that do for your nervous system? Calms it. And so that's what we are all seeking to do with our Cancerian gifts. We're calming the situations. We are just holding space by being an anchor, by being grounded, by setting the example of calm, conscientious energy. So just take a deep breath into that. Practice once again this idea of coming back into your body. And as you are back here in your body temporarily, what do you notice? What's happening in your body? Do you have aches and pains? Do you need a drink? Do you need to use the restroom? Just spending a few conscious moments with your body is as powerful as spending a few conscious moments with your child, with your partner. It's really powerful stuff. We are incredibly distracted and our minds are overtaking us. And so we're working to bring this sense of consciousness through all of these different outlets, coming back to the body, taking the attention off of the mind, tuning into the energy of the field. And these are all small tools that if you practice every day, they are muscles that get stronger. And then you become more able and more aware of holding space when you see stress and chaos outside of you. You just go more automatically into, I'm here to do a job. I'm here to hold some space for whatever is happening. I'm here to be the one person, possibly, that is breathing and centered and grounded while everybody else is freaking out. And there's a lot of power in that. So when we are watching things that are happening outside of us, in our government, in our community, in our collective, it's really easy to go into fear and stress and what ifs and oh my gods, all of that. But you have your own power. You have your ability to hold your center, your ability to come into the present moment, your ability to turn your mind off of all of those incessant monkey mind thoughts. And you're going to get to practice this, especially over the next handful of months and maybe even years. All right, thanks for joining me, you guys. I hope that you learned something, and I will see you all soon.